Unit 8, Lesson 9. It's a fine mess we've got ourselves into. Now I'm just okay. So we're going to learn a couple variations of the 12-bar blues. And so the first little variation we're going to learn is the turnaround. And the turnaround is actually kind of a vague term. It generally means what happens when we go back to the one chord, either at the end of the song or coming back to the beginning of the song. And usually the turnaround in a 12-bar blues happens on measure 9, and we have the 5 chord for 2 measures, and then it returns to the 1. So it's a very simple turnaround. A common variation of that is to do a 4-5 turnaround. And what happens on the 4-5 turnaround is on measure 9 we'll actually go to the 4 chord, and then on measure 10 we'll go to the 5 chord, and then we'll go back to the 1 chord. So I'm going to do the 5-4 turnaround at measure 9. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the blues shuffle. Here we go. I'm going to go like this. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 means I go to the 4 chord. 1, 2, back to the 1 chord. Now we go to 5 chord just like I normally do, but then to the 4 chord, and then finally back to the 1 chord on measure 11. So that would be the 5-4 turnaround. That happens between measure 9 and 10. And that's sort of the first turnaround of a blues progression. Another way we could do it is to actually add a second turnaround after that. So when we get to that 1 chord in the last 2 measures, we're going to do a quick 5 and then back to 1. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back to 1. So now I'm going to do both of those turnarounds. We're going to do a 5-4 turnaround in measure 9 and 10. And I'm also going to do a quick 5 turnaround on beat 3 and 4 of measure 12. Here we go. 1, 2, whole part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 chord. 1, 2, back to the 1 chord. 1, 2, 5-4 turnaround. 2, 3, 4, 4 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, back to 1. Okay. And that little ending variation, I think the first time I played it, I actually played it through the entire measure 12, and then just now I played it just on beats 3 and 4. Either way is fine. Sometimes people will jump to it a little earlier, but you'll hear that extra 5 chord at the very end, somewhere in the last 2 measures. Another very popular variation is to put a quick 4 chord at the beginning of the song in the second measure. So it sounds like this. 1, 2, first measure. Then I'm quickly going to the 4 chord, then back to the 1. Then everything else is the same. 4 chord, back to the 1 chord. Then we do the 5-4 turnaround. 5, 4, 1, quick 5 chord. So those are some variations of the 12-bar blues. There's a million variations. And as you study the blues more, you'll find out that they all have their root in the basic 12-bar form. We just add little pieces to it throughout the song. Different turnarounds. The turnarounds are a big part of the blues. When you study blues, you might spend weeks and weeks and weeks just learning turnarounds, because that's sort of the fun part of the blues progression. But for right now, work on the ones I've showed you, and we will see you at the next lesson.